mega musical movie on stage. It narrates. This is pretty much you're the storyteller.
I worked with Ilayaraja, I worked with Rajan Nagendra, and I've learned a lot from many people. Story that spans 200 years. 3 people who have lived more than 30-40 years in the industry. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ರಾವ್. ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಸಂಗೀತಗಾರ, ಸಂಯೋಜಕ, and I've been in this industry for 35 plus years, working as a musician, as a composer, as a coordinator, as a director, and a lot of things, because I've been really glad that I have had the opportunity to work with great people, and I've learned a lot from many people. And I'm here today having a chat with Roopa.
Thank you, Praveen ji. I'm Roopa Doraswamy, founder of GoBrahma Productions. It is an absolute pleasure to be associated with this production specific, which we will get into, and with Praveen ji. GoBrahma Productions is very privileged to be teaming up with Shivapriya School of Dance and Dr. Sanjay Shantaram's dance school. And we are coming out with this beautiful dance program, a dance drama, mega musical movie on stage called Chandralekha, The Lost Courtesan. So, Mr. Praveen D Rao has made the music, and we are very excited to hear more about it. So, Praveen Are, when you first heard of Chandralekha, ಅವರು ಸಂಜಯ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದರು, ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಚಂದ್ರಲೇಖಾ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಅವರೇ ಅಂತ, ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಟಿಸನ್. ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಆರ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಮೈಂಡ್? ಅದು ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ?
See, there are many layers to this. One is when Sanjay, me and Prahlad, who wrote the script, we got together to talk about this. It was a much different story. It was a kind of story that people knew, people have seen. So we wanted to see how we could bring a known story on stage as a theatrical play. But then as we spoke, we wanted to make it unique, to make it original, like rather than look like something else, some other story, and somebody can say, oh, this character is from there, that moment.
Correct.
So finally it has ended up being so different. It is still a story that spans 200 years, but it's very different, and it's got its own logic. Each of the character, they find their resolves in some other place in the story, and it's really intelligently being put together. So my role here is not just being a music composer, but also have a say in the storyline, how it can be presented, and all that. Because as the way we have been working together, Sanjay and myself, so there are a lot of inputs that I give, even other than music, and a lot of things that I take from Sanjay, because Sanjay, being a musician himself, a dancer himself, and an actor, he has a lot of things that he has gathered from his experience. So this production is a culmination of collective experience of 3 people who have lived more than 30-40 years in the industry. So you can understand how powerful the story might be, and how intricate and beautiful it might be.
Awesome. Where did you study? Where did you learn? And how did you become who you are today? I know I'm hijacking from Chandralekha, but this is curious.
Yeah. Like, well, Ramakrishna Mission. My mother was an ardent devotee, and even before I knew what to think, I was being taken there for the aartis, for the bhajans. So in the bhajans, we see harmonium and tabla predominantly used by the singers and the swamis there. So those were the 2 main instruments: harmonium, tabla, and singing.
Harmonium, tabla, and singing.
That's what caught my attention when I was very young. So it so happened that I went home one day and asked my parents whether I could learn the harmonium. Then I was put to a guru who was close to my house, Pandit Sheshadri Gawai, who was one of the only Hindustani teachers in Bangalore, apart from a few in North Bangalore, in South Bangalore. So that's where I started, both harmonium, vocal, and tabla. And then I have had the legendary tabla maestro, Pandit Praveen D Rao, as my teacher as well. So learning under these 2, I'm still learning. And many others who wherever I perform, they teach me new things, and I learn, and I'm still learning. So that's how I was initiated into the music field. Then at certain point of time, I had a opportunity to perform with dance under Dr. Maya Rao. So Maya Rao, that was actually to help a friend of mine who was playing tabla and was not too well. He wanted support. I went there. Then that friend of mine, he was transferred elsewhere. So I became the main tablaist there, and I started playing tabla for Kathak. So that's how I got connected to dance. Then I got opportunities to compose for daily soaps, for films, for dance productions, for everything that's there in recording. And being a musician who has come out of session recording, I worked with Ilayaraja, I worked with Rajan Nagendra, I worked with Satyam, Sadhu, Manor, Lalgudi Jayaramanji, and Ashit Desai. You name the people, and I've had an opportunity to work with them and got to learn a lot, especially from people like L. Vaidyanathan, how they record, how they think for a certain subject. So all these things, once I had this treasure chest of knowledge, that in my memory, contained in that. So I started working, thinking of all this, what he would do, what that person would do. And then I ended up creating my own concoction of how
Genre,
to
I'm going to
create.
say?
Genre, I wouldn't,
Your
it's
own-
not
your
a,
own
yeah,
path.
my thought,
Original,
that's it.
yeah.
So it's a culmination of many different people's thoughts, and I wouldn't say it's totally original, because classical music and whatever music, we have thousands years of history with lakhs of artists coming in contributing their bit to it. So I'm still, and only thing that I'm happy is people find me still relevant after 35 years in the industry. So that is something very warm to me, where I think, okay, I'm in the right path. Creative music is still working. So I would call this kind of music that we work on as functional music.
Perfect.
So it's applied music, applied classical music and thoughts to create another character, as you said, a different character, one of the characters in a story.
So you're often your work blends classical, folk, contemporary influences. How have you balanced authenticity with innovation for Chandralekha?
Well, Chandralekha, we can say it's as close to a wonderful classical musical dance story, like what we see in music, films. In films, what they do is they have absolute classical, especially today's classical movies, classical music, classical dance, but then it's put in such a beautiful canvas that even laymen enjoy it.
Correct.
So if I make it too classical, that for only classical people who can understand classical music, classical dance will enjoy. But this is in a midway format where there is folk, there is, because there are certain characters which are folk artists. Folk artists sing folk songs. There are classical artists, they do classical. There is a story element. There are dialogues.
So overall, you're saying this is for everyone,
Yeah.
for all kinds of art connoisseurs, rasikas, everybody who's curious, first time watchers, maybe.
Yeah,
Elrigu,
it's
everybody
an
is going to enjoy it.
experience. It's a new story.
Music as a storytelling. In a production like this, music doesn't just accompany, it narrates. This is pretty much you're the storyteller. Can you share a moment in the score where the music itself tells Chandralekha's story without the words?
There are a few moments in
ಏನಾದರೂ
this.
ಇವು ಹಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಡಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯೂನ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ
ಲಿರಿಕ್ಕು ಹಾಡು ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ಕೆಲವು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶೋನ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಐ ವುಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲೀಫ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಔಟ್. It should be a perfect marriage of all art forms, whether it's music, dance, visual, lighting, sound, everything put together. Nobody should be able to alienate something from each other. So if something is seen, that means it's a failure of the project. So that's why I would say you should experience
the whole thing. It's a
show.
whole
Yeah.
package. Lovely, lovely. What do you hope the audience will feel the moment they hear the first notes of Chandralekha? ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು, I mean, as a former dancer myself, when I hear about experience, emotions, I think of the Navarasas. So nimd ಪ್ರಕಾರ, what do you think? Immediately after the first, I don't know, when the audience is sitting there, the first part of the music comes in, what is the expectation? What is your what do you want the audience to feel? Like
They should be curious to sit through the whole show.
whole show. Yeah, that's what
So
I
the
thought.
thing is, what we there are certain people who say the first 30 seconds, first minute is important. It is absolutely important. But if I put everything in the first minute, what do I do for the rest of the show?
It's a curiosity
So
building.
there are few things that I've experimented in the second half of the show, and you will never find that in the first. And what's come in the first is the first. So it goes along with the story. So the way the story develops even the musical element develops.
So, Ivaga, you worked on this for so long with your partners, and now I'm also excited to join the group of also 30 years of not experience in the arts, but experience as a corporate lawyer, so, and turned art person right now. So, if Chandralekha were alive today and she heard your music, what do you think she would say to you?
Thanks.
Thanks for bringing me back alive.
No, thanks for this such music. I didn't get it then. Let me dance it for that now.
Maybe she'll start dancing, right?
Yeah, she should.
We have a lot of schools that are now teaching performing arts. And I personally know many kids who want to pursue music production, music direction as a career. Any thoughts to them?
Anywhere you have music, if you want to study music, if you go to a movie, just keep an ear out for what the composer has done, for what situation, and how he has used music as a tool and a weapon to convince you, to confuse you, to make an impact on the scene. All these things are learning points. So many of the things, most of the things that I use today in a session were not taught to me in college or school or in my music school. They were taught to me by everybody who has, like, bit by bit, they have I got one idea from one composer, another idea from another dancer. So all these things put together. So keep your eyes, ears, everything open to receive, and you'll end up creating something for yourself. Beautiful. That's the best thing I can say.
Thank you.